Good morning, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party. My buddy Rhett. I got her a couple of her favorite kinds of nuts. There you go. I'll give her the other one here in a second. Two of them can be a bit overwhelming for her. She did make pretty quick use. She finished it pretty quick. She's enjoying it. All right. So it's a pistachio nut. Yeah, that's right. That I think is her absolute number one favorite kind of nut. Pistachio nut. All right. So this is why, so I was thinking, why does this have to be a promise? And I'm guessing it has to be a promise because when it's because the browser could probably, if you have a math coprocessor, or I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, or GPU card, um, then it's probably a lot faster and stuff like that. And it's just like, man, why? Why did I go so crazy? Literally, I'm only doing hashing to uniquely identify something. And now that, so to me, like hashing was an operation. So it's a verb and to hash something. So you just perform some operation on it. But I think that really understates it. And I think it's massive amounts of processing. I don't know if I guess it's CPU processing. And I don't really want to go down the rabbit hole of figuring out exactly what hashes this, except just to leave it at that. Like, it seems to be extremely expensive. And if all you're looking for is uniqueness, it does seem to be overkill. But I don't want to like completely like get off of the current task. The thing is this is a perfect example of a task that probably could not be worked on in um, GitHub in parallel and the reason is because um, this is making direct use of the hash, this thing, I've always wondered why that happens, and now I guess we can kind of see why it happens. It's because you find these things when you're looking at them. It's like the Schrodinger's bug. Um, is there a bug there? I- You won't know unless you look, right? Like, um, and then looking changes it. So basically, we kind of came back through here. We said, hey, I want to draw a table. I got this crazy ass issue with the references where the browser isn't recognizing reference changes. And then, um, okay, let me go through this. Let me just hash it. Let's hash it, just like multiply, just like any other operation. Just do a hash. But then it's just like, wait, why do I have to do a promise here? Oh my gosh, because hash is a massively, like, there's a lot of reasons that hashes exist, and one of the side effects of hashing is that you can tell if something's unique, but that's probably not the best way to determine. Like, if you're just going to do a process and check something, there's probably cleaner, easier prob schemes, you know, schemes for uniqueness schemes, fingerprinting, like some sort of thing like that. I don't know. I don't know what the word for that is. But so let's first go ahead and let's capture this. And then this is another really good one in that to me it's clear as day right now that we should not be doing some hash and then before I do a DOM so that I can save DOM operations, I'm going to run a hash. That seems like absolute insanity now that I kind of have a little bit deeper understanding of, or yeah, deeper understanding. I don't understand, but I do have a deeper clue as to how hashing works. It's like, dude, a hash is probably way more intensive than a DOM update. Let's ask that just question of ChatGPT just right off just that 30,000 foot is uh, running a hash algorithm algorithm more computing intensive than a DOM manipulations. Now, before I kind of manipulations, so before I kind of read the response, I guess I want to think this through. Okay, so you run the algorithm. Like, are we even comparing apples to apples here, or are we like comparing cars to uh, Caribbean trips? Like, is it? Yes, they're both about moving you, but one's very different than the other. But let's see. Depends on the size of the data, but dominant inputs are usually far. Oh, wow. Okay, so maybe it's purely CPU and memory to the tight loop, no rendering, layout costs. It's usually highly optimized in native code. It's just very fast, predictable, linear. Okay, so I do like the idea that I guess we can. Yeah, this is okay. So that was smart. So I was right on that. So no matter what, since I said all kinds of stuff, I was going to be right about a bunch of things and wrong about a bunch of things. So now it's time to tease out the things that I was right about. And one is a DOM manipulation is something you want to avoid, um, even if at the expense of a hash. Um, okay, so 10 10k microseconds, few milliseconds. Okay, yeah, so this is way more expensive than so whole millibyte. I don't know, megabyte, millibyte. This is kilobyte. Add a DOM node, zero point 0.1, several tens of MSs. All right, yeah. So I think in general, this one, the DOM, maybe in this specific case, it might be faster to do DOM manipulation than a hash, maybe, maybe not. But even if it is faster in this situation, it sounds like this the DOM is a lot harder to get control over. So okay, okay. So if all I'm trying to do is determine uniqueness on a large, on very large strings, is there a less intensive? I'm going to call it computing, not CPU. Less computing um, technology, intensive technology. You know, all out hashing. They're large are different. They're several. They're cheaper than a full crypto Q ideas. Okay. I guess we should just do this instead of the hashing. So length plus partial sampling. Okay, what was the you only compare one to one. You don't need a reusable fingerprint. This is the thing is that okay, see that's one of the things I really liked about the hashing is that you get like you take this gigantic string and then you just compare it to then it shrinks it down to a smaller string and then um um what am I trying to say? it shrinks it down, and then it's easier for you to compare, like while you're debugging and stuff. That was kind of looks like this length plus partial sampling. Yeah, so false positives I think are acceptable in this situation. Oh man, I'm not plugged in. Wonder how low I am. Power back on. What were we at? I think we were at 30%, so it wasn't that bad. Okay, so cryptographic, non-cryptographic hashes. Oh, I didn't even know of this existence. So there are non-cryptographic hashes. So rolling incremental. See, okay, so yeah, I forgot about it. I want a little string so that when because yes, I realize for the computer, it's not that hard for it to compare 10,000 characters on the left to 10,000 characters on the right, but I'd like it reduced down to a couple hundred characters. Um, yeah, I didn't. So, so I definitely fingerprint mostly for human debugging. Fast, yes, so that's what I want. Fast non-cryptographic hash. So I think this is the one we're using now, right? Go here, go to notation, go to definition. Yeah, so we're trying to use this one. So maybe it would make sense to, because I mean, I don't even think, like we return the string, but yeah, we don't even really ever use it to like decode. Okay. I guess, yeah, see, I like this too. Length plus ultra true if performance is critical. Debug fingerprint. So basically, it's just going to return the length with a colon and then, oh, fingerprint. Okay, so shift from, okay, so basically what we want to do is, okay, so I'm going to create a new issue because, I don't want to just end up like this is just that perfect example of something that can't really be worked in parallel and it can't really, um, and it's completely a different subject than what we're working on. So, uh, okay, so a faster hashing scheme. Okay, so it looks like I'm not sure what so current hashing, which is 256. Hashing 256, which includes, I think it was called cryptography. So apparently there are what's it? Ultra cheap human fingerprint. There are non-cryptographic hashing. Okay. So let's go over here. I don't think it'll pick up solutions. Hopefully in JavaScript. Hopefully in JS. Um, there's also, so that's one. So concept of length plus and hash even more. Oh, we don't want that. Ultra cheap. Oh, that's pretty cool. Return length, and then that's a string. Uh, I actually think this ultra cheap human one seems to be like the best one for my specific things. So I'm going to copy this as an image. So I hit Windows Shift, and I don't even remember how I did that. I just did it through pure muscle memory. And then see if I can do it again. Okay, Shift and dot, period? Oh, I don't even, that is so crazy. Now I don't know how to do it. Control, Windows Shift. I don't even know. That is so crazy. Okay, I guess what I did was Windows Shift and S, and then that spawned this up so that I could capture that. I also want to copy this code, and I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it does that. How? Let's look at the preview. See how that looks. See, I think this is probably what I will do. Is that it basically gives you the length and the start and end, and then wait, what is start and end? Oh, okay, and the first 20 characters. So I don't even know if you remember when I was trying to compare the hashes before, I was just looking at the first characters and the last characters. It's saying that, oh man, this doesn't, I don't know that this is going to be super reliable. Oh, yes, it will. Because the length is the thing that's most likely to change. It is possible every once in a while there might be a little shift in where the length stays the same, but then we are also sampling the first 20 and the last 20 characters to see if something changed. Um, so it is so unlikely. Okay, yeah. So I think the length is going to get literally 99.999%. And then I guess if it stays the same, maybe some sort of analysis has been done where they say, well, you'll typically see a change in the first 20 or the last 20. I don't know. I don't know about that. But I'm going to create this and then uh, and at the very least, we'll be creating one. We may not refactor as part of this, just depends on how hard that is. But probably be like get fast hash string. And I don't know if that's going to be. So this one would definitely not be promise based. But I guess it's not a big deal to create a promise and then return it because it is just a string. So, so yeah, we could copy this and create and we won't even actually be nice. And it is kind of nice to call things in promises sometimes. Ugh. Actually, that just put a whole set of, because it's nice to call things in your functions to call things in promises because at least you're pretty sure that the UI will be updated already by the time by the time the code from your promise gets executed. But at the same time, it can end up causing things, other complications, you know, when you're calling something. So I don't know. Like when there's something, a function calls a promise inside of it, and you don't realize it's calling a promise inside of it. That can be an issue too. I guess this is long enough for this video. Um, we didn't really get anything done. All we did was create this, and so we can get back to the idea that that I was supposed to be working on, and that is we want to be able to, let's see, add a viz. It's kind of cool that you don't need that to add a viz. Um, slash data slash entities and see, yeah, this is, I guess we have it currently broken, but it was, let's see, let's add the viz. Okay, I guess maybe I hit refresh. I must hit refresh. Did I hit refresh? I don't know. But if we add an entity here, we shouldn't lose our entity. So I hope that's not what, oh my gosh, I think. Okay, so yeah, so it's definitely, oh wait, hidden, I don't know if hitting the back. So that is broken. If you go to the data entities thing, it actually ends up deleting everything. Um, but the general idea was that we were like trying to figure out we're trying to figure out how to update this list. And the problem was that the object was the reference was staying the same. So when I went to if I go to update, let's see what happens here, and then add this. Yeah, see, there should be two of them, and now three of them because I hit the button three times. And see, there are three of them. When I go to hit that update button, the reference isn't changing. So because the reference isn't changing, the screen doesn't know to update. Um, Behind the scenes, the Angular just whatever it is that watches that can't see that there was a change. So I was thinking, oh, okay, I'll create a hash, and and also publish the hash, and then it'll update if the hash changes. And it seems like that should all work. Like the I think the story works. Now, does it really work? Like in the actual coding, or is there some other referential issue or something like that they're working through? But in the meantime, which that's just sort of a fun thing for me to kind of go off and investigate how that works. But in the meantime, we ran into this get hash string where it's just like, why am I doing a promise? Wow, that seems like it's probably very, very expensive. Maybe we should not. Maybe we should come up with a faster thing to do instead of like building this into like the very foundations of the application. And so it was like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do that, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to finish up the thing I'm working on. So what I need to do is make a story, but when I make that story, I need to make sure that there's enough information in there so that when I do come back to it, it like I can do something productive. Sometimes you read these stories and you just have no idea how to even do anything productive. Um, so anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.